Justin Gaethje and Islam Makhachev in the UFC lightweight division. 21 wins and 1 loss, and 23 wins and 3 losses. Now, as of right now, these are the two main contenders to fight Charles Oliveira next. Islam Makhachev already has a fight booked with Beneil Dariush for right now. That fight's gonna happen in February on the 26th. I believe Islam Makhachev will win the fight, but you never know with the UFC. They could just go out there and put Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira. That is the fight that probably should happen, but you never do know. They could do Islam Makhachev versus Gaethje. Winner fights Charles Oliveira. I would not be surprised if the UFC does that. But right now, Islam Makhachev on a crazy win streak, only losing to Adriano Martins and a fluke knockout. If that fight happened again, Islam's not going to be losing that one, but after that one, dominating Chris Wade, beating Nick Lenz, knocking out Gleison Tibau, submitting Kajon Johnson, beating Armin Tsarukyan, Davey Ramos, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, and most notably and most recently, Dan Hooker. Now, after those fights, he's probably going to beat Beneil Dariush. He probably beats most other fighters in the lightweight division. I believe he beats Poirier. I believe he beats Beneil, Michael Chandler. I believe he beats pretty much every other guy, maybe except for Oliveira and Gaethje. Those are the two most and closest fights, in my opinion, in the UFC lightweight division for Islam Makhachev are going to be Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira. The reason why those are the most dangerous is because Oliveira has a submission in the bag. Anytime he can whip it out and submit Islam Makhachev. Gaethje versus Islam is always dangerous because Gaethje could just start throwing and knock out Islam Makhachev, but I don't think that's going to happen. Gaethje it's possible he could go out there and do another first round knockout like he did against Cerrone, like he did against Barbosa, like he did against Vic. He can definitely knock out Islam Makhachev, but after watching Gaethje versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, how easily he was taken down, how easily he was submitted, I believe Islam Makhachev will do kind of the same strategy, take him down, ground and pound him for a little bit, have the he has a little bit flowier grappling than Khabib. Khabib is mainly going out there to ground and pound you and then find a way to submit you at the end. Islam is just a much better grappler in terms of technique than Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I believe that technique is going to be used to find a way under the chin of Justin Gaethje, and I expect we will see an Islam Makhachev rear naked choke submission if the fight does happen, but you never know with Justin Gaethje. The power that he does possess, the highlight reel guy in Justin Gaethje, he's kind of like Derek Lewis. You never know if he's just going to start throwing bombs and knock you out in the first or second round. But overall, I believe Islam Makhachev should go out there and out-wrestle, out-grapple Gaethje in the first and second round and submit him in the third and final round. Really good fight in the lightweight division. After that fight, we again go to the UFC lightweight division. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev in the UFC lightweight division. Very, very good fight. The best grappler in the UFC right now, probably the best grappler in UFC history versus the best wrestler in the UFC lightweight division as of right now. 21 wins, 1 loss. I mean, he's beaten some really, really solid guys, dominant fashion. Submitting Drew Dober, submitting Thiago Moises, and submitting Dan Hooker. Will he submit Charles Oliveira? I don't think so. I mean, if Islam Makhachev wins the fight, I would assume it'll be a decision. If Charles Oliveira wins the fight, I would probably say it's going to be a submission or a knockout. So if Oliveira wins, finish. If Islam wins, it'll be a decision. But as of right now, Oliveira is the best grappler of all time. I mean, he submitted Clay Guida by guillotine, submitted Chris Ojago, submitted Jim Miller, submitted David Moore, got 2 knockouts in a row on Nick Lenz and Jared Gordon, submitted Kevin Lee, knocked out Michael Chandler, submitted Poirier. I mean, the grappling of this man is just absolutely insane. Calf slicer submission over Eric Wisely. I mean, come on. It is just absolutely insane what Charles Oliveira is able to do in these fights. It's crazy. It is just absolutely crazy. But will he be able to do the same thing to Islam Makhachev? I don't think so. Out of all the guys he has submitted, Clay Guida, not as good a grappler. Jim Miller, not as good a grappler. Kevin Lee, not as good a grappler. Ferguson, not as good a grappler. Poirier, not as good a grappler. None of these guys are nowhere near as good a wrestler and grappler as Islam Makhachev. This is the toughest fight of Islam Makhachev's career, as well as the toughest fight of Charles Oliveira's career. career, in my opinion. I believe the odds probably going to be -110 once the fight does happen, but it's very, very tough. You never know if Oliveira is just going to whip up a submission, whip up a counter left hook like he did against Michael Chandler, and knock out Islam. There's so many things that can happen in this fight, but I'm going to go Islam Makhachev. He's got Khabib Nurmagomedov training him at AKA. He has so many good guys training him. There's probably going to be so many elite grapplers that are going to become training partners for the fight if it does happen, and Islam's submission defense is just going to get better and better and better. He'll go out there, out wrestle Oliveira, stay on top, ground and pound him a little bit, kind of look to improve positions, but not really look to ground and pound as much as his counterpart Khabib Nurmagomedov. But he should out wrestle Oliveira, keep him on the ground for the most part. On the feet, that is where I get a little bit worried, as Oliveira has the better Muay Thai. He's going to be, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit taller, a little bit lengthier. 74-inch reach, 5 foot 10 inches tall. Yeah, he's going to be 3.5 inches lengthier than Islam Makhachev, but Islam's striking defense is going to be better. It's a very, very close fight. The striking, I'll give Charles Oliveira a slight advantage. The submission skills, I'll give Charles Oliveira a slight advantage. The wrestling, I will give Islam Makhachev the advantage. So it's a very close fight. I can see a knockout from Oliveira. I can see another submission from Charles Oliveira, but I do think Islam Makhachev will go out there, and I think he'll grind out to a decision. It's going to be a crazy fight. My prediction very early at that is going to be Islam Makhachev grinding out in the wrestling and grappling, staying on top, landing a little bit of ground pound, and just kind of controlling Oliveira for most of the fight. And my prediction, 48-47 decision win for Islam Makhachev. Really good fight in the lightweight division.